Welcome to Deep Dive Cuttlefish. This is where we really try to get under the surface, find that clarity from curiosity.
We look at the big ideas, the patterns you don't always see, the sort of deeper truths shaping things.
Yeah, exactly. If you're tired of the noise and want to understand what's really going on, well, you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into something, pretty personal, I think, and really powerful. We're calling it the 5 truths your mind hopes you'll ignore.
Right. And these aren't, just abstract concepts for a textbook. They're really fundamental principles, almost like the operating system running in the background of your mind. What's often missed, and this is what's truly fascinating, is that if you don't get these truths, or you just bypass them,
Yeah.
you can build what looks like a great life, ticking all the boxes,
Yeah.
but still feel like something's missing, or like you're, I don't know, constantly fighting yourself.
That feeling, yeah.
So this deep dive, it's meant to be a shortcut, really, a way to get properly informed about these crucial bits of your inner world, to get beyond just knowing about them, to really getting them.
Exactly. And that's why this topic, well, it hit home for me too. So our mission today is to unpack these 5 truths. We'll look at the core ideas, what they actually mean day to day, and maybe most importantly, the what ifs. Like what becomes possible when you really embrace them, when you let them shift how you see things. Okay, let's unpack this. And we're starting with one that for me personally was just huge. Okay. Truth number 1. You are not your thoughts, but they will rule you if you don't pay attention. Wow. This one, especially back in my early 20s, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I vividly remember just walking around thinking every single thought that popped into my head was me. An anxious thought comes up. Well, clearly I'm just an anxious person deep down. Or a critical thought about someone. Oh no, I must be a terrible person. It was just exhausting.
Yeah.
This constant battle inside, completely at the mercy of that inner voice. And the what if is so clear, isn't it? What if you never see this? Your thoughts just run you. Unfiltered, unchallenged, dictating everything like a puppet.
And that's exactly it. What's truly fascinating is just how common that is. Because most of what we call our thoughts, they're really just noise.
Yeah.
Conditioned patterns. I mean, think about it. Your brain's a prediction machine, right?
Right.
Always scanning, looking for patterns, trying to keep you safe. So these thoughts, they aren't necessarily reflections of who you are. They come from childhood, culture, past stuff, trauma.
Yeah.
Sometimes just random brain firings.
Right.
It's like this radio station stuck on in your head, playing old news, weird weather reports,
Yeah.
and it never turns off.
Yeah.
And if you don't realize that station is separate from you, the listener,
Mm.
well, its programming runs your whole life. It becomes your default setting, totally unconscious. We call it cognitive fusion. You're just stuck to your thoughts.
So it's about creating space. But, okay, for someone who feels totally lost in that noise like I did, how do you even start?
Yeah.
What's the first tiny step?
That's the key question, isn't it? Because it feels impossible at first. Like stopping a train, the very first step of the kind of antidote is this thing called metacognition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just pausing, taking a breath, and noticing a thought. Just labeling it. That's a thought. Not, oh my God, that's the truth. And definitely not, oh no, that's me.
Just seeing it as a thought.
Exactly. It's like stepping back from a movie screen and realizing, oh, I'm watching a film, I'm not the character. That simple act of noticing, becoming the observer, not the reactor, it starts to break that fusion. You get a tiny bit of distance, a pause.
And I can tell you, that tiny sliver, it feels like a revolution when you first find it. And once you start doing that, observing, instead of just automatically identifying, everything changes. You stop just reacting, to every little inner ping. You start actually responding based on what matters to you, not just getting bounced around. That's where the power is. It's quiet, but it's immense. Like finding the remote for that radio after years of just having it blare at you.
Precisely. And that actually leads us perfectly into the second truth, which is your narrative becomes your reality. And let me be really clear here. Life runs on the story you tell yourself, not just the objective facts. It's the narrative you believe that shapes your whole experience.
Oh, that's so critical. Because people often think they're just being realistic, right? I'm just honest about who I am, they say. But really, they're often just repeating these old, ingrained, sometimes totally invisible stories like, I'm not lovable, or I'm terrible with money, or people always leave. Even stuff like, I'm not a creative person. These stories feel like solid truths. And the what if here is huge. If you don't spot these narratives, they silently filter everything. Your confidence, your relationships, even how you remember things. They sabotage you without you even realizing it, just proving the old story right again.
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture,
Yeah.
these hidden stories are so potent because of, well, confirmation bias. Once your brain buys into a story, consciously or more often subconsciously, it actively goes looking for evidence to back it up.
It seeks it out.
Actively. And it filters out or twists anything that doesn't fit the story. So if your story is, I'm not good enough, your brain's on high alert for every mistake, every rejection, every little failing,
Yeah.
while totally downplaying or ignoring your successes.
Wow.
These narratives are like the hidden rules of your personal game. They decide the outcome way more than outside events. It's why two people can go through the exact same thing and have completely different realities of it.
Okay, that makes total sense. Like your internal search engine has a default filter stuck on. So if you're caught in a story that's holding you back,
Yeah.
how do you change it? What's the practical thing?
Well, this is where the real power lies. When you consciously decide to change the story, when you really start writing a new one, the facts often seem to just rearrange themselves around it. You actually start finding proof for the news story because your brain's filter has shifted.
You see what fits the new narrative.
Exactly. So the practice, the antidote, is what you could call radical authorship.
Yeah.
It's about being the intentional editor of your own life story, asking yourself, this story I'm living by, does it serve me, empower me, or is it keeping me stuck? And then, deliberately, you start writing a new chapter. Not just wishful thinking, but by shifting your focus, your language, how you interpret things to match the story you want to live. It's an ongoing thing, a practice.
Okay. Phew. This third one, I think this resonates with so many people. It certainly does with me. Avoidance of discomfort is the root of most self-sabotage. Here's where it gets really interesting, because it's sneaky. For years, I honestly just thought I was lazy. Simple as that. I'd look at my list, difficult emails, that tough conversation, a creative project I cared about, feel totally overwhelmed, and then just stop, do something else, anything else.
Distraction.
Total distraction. But what I finally got after ages was that it wasn't laziness. It was actually a really low tolerance for distress, for discomfort. I'd automatically dodge anything that made me feel inadequate, scared, vulnerable, even just bored. My brain was like, nope, feels bad, go get dopamine.
You've nailed something absolutely vital there. It's such a common misunderstanding. Most people don't procrastinate or, sabotage themselves in other ways because they lack the skill or the knowledge. They do it because doing the thing triggers some kind of emotional discomfort.
Yeah.
Fear of failure, maybe? Shame about not being perfect? The sheer boredom of a task? The vulnerability of, like you said, having a hard conversation? Our brains are just wired, fundamentally, to seek pleasure and avoid pain.
Right, that primal wiring.
And the what if here is stark. It can be devastating, actually, if we always dodge discomfort by scrolling, eating, drinking, binge-watching, ghosting.
Yeah.
It costs us everything that really matters, our potential, our relationships, our growth, our self-worth. It's a short-term fix for a huge long-term loss.
It really is. That insidious cost of avoidance. You think about how often we grab that quick distraction instead of facing the feeling or the task. That immediate relief feels good, like a reward, right? But the long-term price is massive. We never build resilience. We never prove to ourselves we can handle discomfort.
It's a muscle you never exercise.
Exactly.
So the powerful antidote, the practice, is learning to just stay. Choosing consciously to sit with the feeling, to let the discomfort be there without instantly reacting. It's like riding a wave, You feel it rise, you feel it peak, you feel it pass.
Okay.
You observe it, breathe through it, remind yourself it's temporary, not permanent. Because that edge, that exact point you want to run from, that's where the growth is.
That's the spot.
That's where you expand your capacity, build that resilience muscle, find out what you're really made of. That's how your comfort zone actually gets bigger. Okay, moving to our fourth truth. And this one, this really challenges our sense of control. The subconscious is driving the bus. For most of us, maybe all of us sometimes, we're just passengers in the back thinking we're steering. This raises an important question. If we're not consciously in charge, what is? And how does it show up?
Yeah, the implications are just huge, aren't they? Because you can try so hard, consciously, white-knuckle it, set goals, say affirmations all day long.
The will tower approach.
Right. But if your subconscious, that deep, unseen part, holds core beliefs like I'm unworthy or I'm unsafe or I'm alone, it will quietly but powerfully sabotage every single win you try to create. It's like, I don't know, building a house on quicksand.
Great analogy.
And the what if is so clear and kind of tragic. Trying to force change with just willpower without dealing with those deeper patterns, it just leads to burnout, frustration, that same old cycle repeating. You can want something consciously, desperately even. But if the deep programming isn't on board, you often end up right back where you started.
It's absolutely true. Your habits, the dynamics in your relationships, even the opportunities you notice. So much of that is run by subconscious script you didn't consciously write. They got laid down early on through experiences, conditioning, repeated patterns. They built pathways in your brain.
Mm.
And the tricky part, the subconscious doesn't really speak logic 101. Your conscious mind gets logic, but the subconscious talks in emotion, memories, symbols, body sensations.
Right, it's a different language.
Totally different, which is why sometimes, standard talk therapy that mainly uses logic can hit a wall, is trying to talk to the driver in a language they don't fully understand.
Okay, so the practice then, the antidote, is about learning that language, engaging that deeper mind, finding ways to kind of rewrite the deeper code running the show.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
about rewriting that code.
Yeah.
And that can look like a lot of things. Maybe consistent journaling to spot hidden patterns, deep reflection on emotions that keep coming up, or maybe exploring therapies designed specifically to access that deeper stuff. Things like EMDR for trauma reprocessing,
Cool.
somatic work, focusing on body sensations and releasing stored tension, inner child work, addressing those really early core beliefs. For some, even things like psychedelics, used carefully and legally, are being looked at for how they might quiet the conscious mind and allow access to shift those deep patterns.
Interesting.
The point is to get into the driver's seat, not just be a passenger wondering why you keep ending up in the same ditch.
Yeah. Right. Okay, and now, the fifth and final truth. This one, for me, really kind of pulls everything together. It's something I've thought about a lot personally. This idea that connection, not control, is the key to a meaningful life. So what does this really mean? This link between connection and meaning, and why do we miss it so often?
Well, this one goes right up against a lot of what society tells us, doesn't it? We're often taught, chase success, security, certainty, control everything, be the master of your destiny.
Yeah, the individual achievement model.
Exactly. We try to control every variable, thinking that equals happiness. But then, even if we get those things, we can feel starved, starving for connection with other people, with nature, with a sense of purpose bigger than just us, that feeling of being lonely in a crowd. And what ifs is pretty stark.
Yeah.
Imagine having it all, ticking every box, but feeling utterly isolated because prioritizing control squeezed out genuine, vulnerable, nourishing connection. It's like a silent epidemic.
It's such an interesting paradox, isn't it? Culture pushes self-mastery, goal-crushing, optimizing everything, like life's a solo race. But deep down, that real fulfillment, that sense of a life well lived, it doesn't seem to come from more control or more stuff. It comes from something more fundamental, maybe more ancient. Belonging, real human connection, feeling seen, valued, part of something better.
Exactly. It's not about being the best. It's about being connected. It's about presence in your interactions. Real relationships built on authenticity, respect. It's fostering a sense that your life connects to something larger than just your own, wins the community, a cause, maybe a spiritual path.
Yeah.
It's not about being impressive. It's about being rooted.
Okay, so the practice, the antidote.
It's deliberately choosing presence over performance, letting people see the real you, flaws and all, instead of just the curated image.
That takes courage.
It does. Showing up fully, listening deeply, investing in shared experiences, building something bigger than your ego, something shared. Because that's what sticks, that's what lasts, that's what nourishes a truly meaningful life. It's the legacy that matters. So, just to quickly recap those 5 truths we've unpacked. 1, you are not your thoughts' understanding that stops them ruling you. 2, your story shapes your world. So, write one that serves you. 3, discomfort is your growth edge. Avoiding it is self-sabotage. 4, your subconscious drives the bus to learn its language to steer better. And 5, connection, not control, is the meaning you're likely craving deep down.
And these aren't just, intellectual ideas. They're really practical tools. Tools for understanding yourself, navigating life with more clarity, more purpose, getting into these insights, letting them sink in. It's like a shortcut to living in a way that feels more aligned, more real, seeing the code behind your own experience.
Definitely. And as we finish up, maybe a final thought for you to carry away this week. Just consider, which of these 5 truths might you be subconsciously ignoring the most right now in your own life? Is it an old story you're stuck in? A discomfort you keep dodging? A blind spot about your subconscious drivers? And then just ask yourself, what one small intentional step, even tiny, could you take this week to start leaning into that truth just a little bit?
Yeah.
Because even a small shift, a moment of awareness, can create ripples that change so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And if this deep dive resonated with you today, and we really hope it did, please tap that like button. It lets us know this kind of thing is valuable for you. And if you want more of this, more swimming below the surface, definitely hit subscribe. We are just getting started exploring these kinds of truths.
And please, if you know someone who'd appreciate this kind of conversation, someone curious about understanding themselves and the world more deeply, do share this with them. That ripple effect helps us reach more people. We'd also love to hear your comments on this deep dive. And hey, suggest topics for future ones. Your input genuinely helps shape where we go next.
Thank you so much for being part of this journey with us today. Until next time, stay curious, stay deep. This is Deep Dive Cuttlefish.